I think Europe is already an interesting place for research. At the moment, it's important to stress it's a place for free research, because that's not everywhere in the world the case. I think, however, we have some lessons to learn and take them on. We have great researchers, but very often when they engage in entrepreneurship, they go elsewhere. So the first thing to do is really to create an esprit for entrepreneurship in Europe, to kind of give signals that we want entrepreneurs to kind of, experiment in the European Union. And here ideas like the 28th regime or the EU Inc. to make it digitally easy to kind of found a company, to kind of, conduct a company until it scales or even until it liquidates if need be. I think that's a very good promising kind of angle. Also, we need to make sure that the money is invested in Europe instead of elsewhere. We're sitting on a lot of money, but our funds tended to invest elsewhere. If we create that entrepreneurship spirit, that spirit of innovation in Europe, I'm hopeful that actually startups can scale up with European money in Europe instead of having to go elsewhere. And then I think we need to create the ecosystems that from the beginning we want research to kind of move into industrial application. And here, if we take the AI example, we are building these AI factories around our supercomputers. So there the startups can experiment with their models. We want to bring them into contact with the ecosystem of industry so their relationships can build and kind of scaling up as possible. So I think there are great ideas, especially in the area of AI, where we can experiment and hopefully in a couple of years have a totally different situation where it's worth developing AI startups in the European Union and scaling them up. I think there's a lot talked about the so-called European stack. And I think that's the way we have to look at that, because in a way we have to work on all the layers. We have come here on the basis of our Digital Networks Act that we have just presented. And that's the stack of the connectivity, because we need a modern, kind of a simplified, a harmonized connectivity regime in Europe that can really kind of be up to the state of the art that we need. Then you need to move up. We need a cloud infrastructure that is more European, and that is kind of, modern as well. Then we need a data infrastructure, because we need a data market, we need access to the data to fuel all this kind of, AI revolution. And then we also need the microchips to kind of fuel all this. So I think all these areas have to be worked on. So the Digital Networks Act for the state-of-art connectivity that we have already presented in January, the tech sovereignty package that will come in April that is about the Cloud and AI Development Act, so about the cloud infrastructure, and the CHIPS Act too, so about the microchips, will give answers to that. I think that's the kind of ecosystem that we really need to advance rapidly this year.